So talk about how you got into tech, and then I want you to get into, your journey of getting to the point of how you were able to build what you just shared with us on this channel.
Very good. So another wonderful story. My life is full with those. When I look back, I start looking back now, and I realize how blessed that I am to have that opportunity to have these types of stories that actually happened to me. I'm very fortunate. With regard to how I got into tech, while I was in high school, it started in high school. I actually never went to my cafeteria. There's a story there too. I was teased because I have my darker complexion,
Mhm.
and I wanted to hide from the world. And the way I hid was not really go somewhere and hide. I went and hide in my computer lab. I
Mm.
still today remember my professor, my teacher, Mr. Curry. He was my role model. I love the way he dressed. I love the way he does everything. Even to this today, when I go somewhere, I always want to emulate Mr. Curry. So Mr. Curry said, "You know what? You're a pretty good programmer. You should continue programming." So I did. Throughout my high school career, I was doing programming. I was pretty good at that. So when I went in the Marine Corps, so I went a different direction. So after I left the Marine Corps, went to the nuclear research side in San Francisco. Then when I got back to the Pentagon, I had a master's in finance, and I was working at the Pentagon. My job was to do financial analysis for IT systems up to $100 million. So that was my first assignment. So all we had to do was provide our analysis on whether, doing the business case analysis, whether that system was worthy or not, right? So during that time, there is a senior architect, enterprise architect that is in charge of all these, that was in charge of all these systems. And when I go and ask him questions, I ask him some fundamentally technical questions. And then one day he looked at me, he says, "You should not be doing financial analysis." I'm like, "Why not?" He's like, "You should be an architect." I said, "Why do you say so?" Because he said, "You're better than my even architects." So I said, "Okay, how do I go into that field?" He's like, "Well, I'll help you." So for 3 years working at the Pentagon while I was doing financial analysis, I was always working with him on the side. He was trying to explain to me the intricacies behind enterprise architect. And he also told me what you can do. You can go at night, go on Google, spend some time, do some study on your own, and then you're going to get there. So at the end of the day, he taught me something. When no one is watching, this is when you need to press harder. When no one is paying attention to you, this is when you educate yourself. This is when you grow. You don't need to have anyone looking over your shoulder to say, "Oh, look at him, he's studying." You don't need any accolades. You need to press when no one is watching. So because of that gentleman, I ended up becoming an architect, an enterprise architect, building software. And I actually ended up designing dozens of software for the Air Force Surgeon General's office, for the Army, for the Marines. So I ended up doing that because this gentleman for 3 years spent his time explaining to me the things that I needed to know, and then give me some ideas to go and do some further studies on my own. Remember, I was a financial analyst. I have a
Right.
master's degree in finance, and then he taught me everything I needed to know. And then I switched from being a financial analyst to an enterprise architect.
That is so that's and guys, think about this, right? Many of you are on this channel hearing this story, okay? Many of you may be a financial analyst and you want to switch into tech. You want to switch into a product management role. You want to switch into a role of a solution architect or a tech person, right? Think about what Ray just said. He's educated into finance. He has a master's in the finance. He's a pretty genius at financial analyst stuff. That's a skill set that he has and a skill set that he was trained on. So you know, with him being a person that likes to be top of his class, he's pretty excellent at it. He found a mentor that wanted to invest in him, gave him the game, shared what he needed to know in order for him to get to becoming an architect. And then when he went home, on top of being a financial analyst, he spent his nights while nobody was looking to learn and learn and learn and get the game from his mentor, and became a better architect than probably his mentor or the people that's working for him. That is insane, Ray. So when you say you went home at night, tell me what was this? Was this, you know, 3 hours a night, 2 hours a night, 1 hour a night? That didn't even matter. It was just you really being curious of learning something and being disciplined to say, I need to learn it.
Time wasn't a factor. At that time, I was a young man. I was still in my early 30s. It wasn't an issue to stay up midnight, 1 a.m. studying. The company that I used to work for at that time in DC was SAIC. I don't know if you know a company by the name of SAIC.
I've heard of it before, yeah.
Okay, in the DC area, similar to Booz Allen, Lockheed Martin type of company. So I just stayed up, stay late, study on the weekends. I studied, and I had a great support. One of the things that you need to know to be successful to your journey, you have to have a wonderful partner. So my wife was very supportive. Having your wife to be supportive of you, you're gonna do a lot of things, right? So she gave me the freedom to go and push and do. Even today, she's still doing the same thing. So that was the trick, to go in and press. No one was telling me, well, it's time to go to bed or come to bed, or I said, well, you know what? I have to go do this tomorrow. I have to go golf. I have to go play soccer. No, it was like, no, this is interesting. I'm going to learn it. And I had, again, it's about having that mindset saying, I'm going to do this and I'm not going to mediocre at it. I'm going to be very good at it. So not accepting mediocrity is also key to get to where you need to be.
And Ray, oh God, you're dropping gems. You're dropping gems. I'm so grateful for you to share this inspirational story.